Hello, hello, hello. Good to see everyone. Sorry about the glare in my glasses. That's one of the hazards of video when you need a prescription to read the things on the computer screen. So it is good to see everybody for our Tuesday quilt chat, just a time to get together. I'm in my sewing room. I'm going to be doing a little bit of piecing today while we chat, and I'm going to be live on Tuesdays here on YouTube. And if you have seen some of my other Fun Friday broadcasts, those are moving to Facebook. And we can, if you're curious, you can email me and I'll have that discussion with you offline. So I'm thinking I need a better backdrop here, definitely a quilt, and I may take down these shelves. So let me know what you have on the walls and the upper spaces in your sewing room. I have a desk set up, kind of a desk and dresser L-shaped unit that I have taken over for my sewing room. And I'm facing a wall that has my design wall, which is quite fancy. I have to say, it is literally a piece of batting and thumbtacks holding it up against the wall. But it does give me a place to put up some blocks and take a look at my projects as they come together. And under the window, I have my ironing station and some shelving for my other projects. So I would turn it around and show you, but my mom always nags at me that I have too many piles on the floor. So I won't subject you to that until I get it all neatly put away and tucked away and organized. As you can see from the random things that I put on my bulletin board and the piles of stuff on my shelves, you can tell that I am I like to say a horizontal organizer. It sounds better than just living in clutter, but that's the way things go around here. So hello to everyone. Please be sure to drop a comment and tell me where you are and what sewing projects you're working on today. Heidi, good to see you, Heidi. Joining us from California, so good to see you. I'm stunned at the whole West Coast is enjoying Phoenix temperatures this week. I'm terribly sorry for that heat wave that is hitting the Western United States. I know a lot of you aren't used to it. I try not to complain too much because I chose to live in one of the hottest areas of the United States, and we just kind of suffer in silence here through the hot part of the summer. I was enjoying the cloud formations. That's one of the benefits of our summer monsoon season. The thunderstorms crop up in the afternoons when it gets really hot, and I love watching those big, big, big billowing clouds build up on the horizon. That's so, so beautiful. So yeah, that's what we're doing here today. And my summer promotion has been the Summer Fun Road Trip Trek Across the United States. And I have a score sheet. So if you're following along and listening for the different states that I talk about on my live broadcasts, we are running this contest from June. It started a couple weeks ago, all the way through August. So you have time to collect all your points for visiting the different states across the United States. And Cindy's with us. Yes, she joins us from Iowa. Your shop hop, Cindy, sounds like a lot of fun. We were just talking about some of the different quilt stores in the other towns in Arizona. So yes, it is always fun to go on those shop hops and visit the different stores. And I always tend to decide on a color scheme for the day and pick up fat quarters and things. I have an epic blue and white quilt that I've been working on I say working on. I started a few years ago with the intent of working on it. And it hasn't gotten touched here lately. But yes, those shop hops are fun. So give me a second to drop the link in the chat for the summer fun road trip score sheet, and then we will continue our chat because I am typing challenged. I cannot talk and type something. I can't talk about one thing and type about something else. So there is the link. If that is not a live link that takes you to the Google document to download, then just, copy and paste that when we are done with our chat today, and you can download your score sheet. And as you visit different quilt shops, if you do some online shopping, you can collect points for the different states that are represented there. I was perusing, I'm trying to narrow down my choices for Quilters Trek blocks and how I want to do that, because, just ordering one small kit and then paying shipping may quickly exceed my budget for this project, but we will have fun with it. So you can also earn points with Fun Friday mentions, or I should expand that to live broadcast mentions, since we're going to be starting these Tuesday talks on YouTube. And I have some squares cut out. These are some reds and greens for my July project for Island Batik. And I'm going to be sewing these together today. So since I am sewing a basic 9-patch, I thought I would just drop in the 4 corners states as the road trip destination for today. So if you know the states that make up the 4 corners region of the United States, you can check those off your score sheet today as I start on my 9-patch. So I needed just one more block for a sampler quilt, and my default block is always the 9-patch. So drop a note in the chat and tell me what is your go-to block. If you have a choice to make a block for somebody, or they're doing a donation drive, block lottery type thing, if you just have one empty square that you need to fill up, tell me what quilt block you would use to do that, because I find 9-patches a lot of fun, interesting ways that you can put them together. If you change some of the blocks to half square triangles, you can see my whole 9-patch sampler quilt if you're interested in that. And we'll get going. I'll try not to make too many funny faces. I always worry about, am I sticking my tongue out funny when I'm sewing on camera? But 9-patches go together so easily because you just sew 3 pairs together and then make your rows. So we'll get those going. And what size quilt blocks do you typically make? I have been in the groove lately of 6 or 12. So that works out lovely for 9-patches, because then I can use my 2.5-inch strips for 9-patches. These are a little bit bigger. And I suppose I could tilt my camera a little bit so you can see that, yes, I'm actually sewing here. And I tend to chain piece and then snip my pieces apart as I'm doing. Cindy makes Churn Dash or Ohio Star. Those are great choices. I love that. I tend to go to Friendship Stars more than Ohio Stars. Or Sawtooth Stars, because I like doing those. Doing those with half square triangles. But that's fun. So what did I do? Okay. Figuring things out here. So again, if you are following along our summer road trip contest, you need to figure out the 4 states that are part of the 4 Corners region. And you can mark those 4 states off as a Fun Friday mention. The way the contest will work is that you need to keep track of your points all summer. And then in August, when the contest ends, I will ask for that score sheet, and you will have to email me with your results so that we can find our winner. And I'm still working on a prize basket that will have just a variety of fabric and notions that will fit in, let's say, just like a shoebox size of items, because we don't need to go too crazy on this. This is just supposed to be a little bit of fun. And do you have a standard color scheme? What's your most common color scheme of quilts? I am, you can tell I am, well, I'll let you guess what the theme is for July, but I tend to sew a lot of patriotic quilts because I figure that I can eventually donate them to Quilts of Valor. Has always been my motivation for that, that if I don't have someone in mind, then a patriotic color scheme tends to work pretty well. My mom has been going crazy and making quilts, and then she calls on me to do the long arm quilting a lot of times, especially for charity quilts, because I can do a pantograph and all over design for charity quilts, and then those are just all sorts of things. Yeah, Christmas in July has gotten really popular, Cindy. I would think we could let that trend have a rest here in a bit, but yeah, because people go so crazy with getting annoyed that Christmas stuff is out already. But when you're a quilter, you definitely need to make things ahead of time, and you can't wait on that kind of thing. Even though it is very hard to think about holidays and all the prep and different things you need to be doing at that. I am definitely a kind of a last minute person in terms of like shopping and decorating and wrapping and things. I have a friend who has already purchased her Christmas cards, and she will start writing and addressing them to get them mailed. Like she'll have them all addressed in July and then be ready to mail them in November. And that's I have too much other quilting and things to do to spend time in my summer writing Christmas cards. But she's a dear friend, and I love that she is so organized. So let's just leave it at that. So you can see my 9-patch squares going together here. And we are, as I pin my intersections, we are thinking about the states that make up the 4 Corners region. If you are following along the Summer Fun Road Trip contest. Okay. And then I always keep a pile of half square triangles near my machine. And I use them as leader enders so that when I get to, the last couple parts of a block that need to be sewn together, then I can run a half square triangle through and get the rest of the pieces for my block without snipping, wasting all that thread to pull it to the side and clip it with the built-in scissors. Cindy's got her 4 corner states marked off for today. Good, good. So we'll now have 2 chances every week for you guys to collect points, because I'm live on YouTube on Tuesdays from now on. And if you hop over to my Facebook channel on Fridays, you can join me for Fun Friday. And Brenda is here. Hello. I didn't realize you were in Canada. I have lots and lots of Canadian friends. So I hope you are doing well. I don't need to worry about pressing that. And you'll notice I do a lot of finger pressing, especially when I am on camera live. I don't like to jump up and down to the iron, and I don't keep an iron here next to my sewing machine. That definitely is a get up and move situation. The iron's too hot to leave on during the middle of the day here in the summer, and that's another reason I love batiks, is that they are naturally stiff fabrics, so that when I finger press, they get a nice flat crease and just behave ever so nicely as I pin right there on my seam line. Let me catch up with the comments. Brenda's a finger presser, and Cindy calls her leader ender pieces the anchor fabric, and that certainly could be. I was listening to a friend who had come to quilting after being a dressmaker for years, and she actually had a little bit of thicker fold, because we were sewing bag pieces together, and so it had several layers of batting at the intersection, and she built up a piece of fabric, and she said that those pieces are important so that your presser foot is actually level going across all the fabric. If you have a thick piece of fabric coming up under your presser foot and it has to hop over that height adjustment, it can mess up your stitching. So that was a really interesting explanation and benefit of using these leader ender or anchor pieces. So yeah, that's interesting. I know Cindy's addicted to batiks just like I am. So she loves when we have these contests. She was our latest giveaway winner from our one of the video contests I did a little while ago. And I do want to remind you that I have a blog and a newsletter. I have a new blog post coming out on the 1st of the month that has a new fabric contest. So you'll want to check that out, and I will remind you of that. I'm finding it very enjoyable to give away fabric because it reduces my stash in a most lovely way. I love to share all that goodness with you guys. So we will continue to pass that along. And when I am doing these leader enders, I'm actually sewing on the short side of my half square triangle so that it just makes a bigger triangle instead of the half square triangle square that people are used to. Because I have been enjoying making little hourglass units, and they're just, I started actually because when I took these squares that are from binding strips, so they were 2.5 inches across. When I sewed on the diagonal, for some reason the square seemed really tiny. And when I put them together to make these hourglass units, they're a little bit bigger. Okay, maybe 1/4 of an inch bigger, but to me it seems like they're bigger. So I felt like I wasn't wasting as much fabric or getting too fiddly with it. So that's why I started making hourglass units. And I found some fun ideas of blocks that I can make from my scraps. So look for that video coming up. I'm going to share my block ideas for what to do with half square or hourglass leftover bonus units. So we have our, get the extra little leader ender piece done, and ta-da, we have a very basic 9-patch unit that will go into my July project. So I need to get that done. I like to have my Island Batik projects done early in the month so that I stay on track with all of that. You're very welcome, Shelly, or Cindy. You're one of those fun people that has a similar first name, last name. Cindy got her Harvest Blue fabric pieces as her prize from a previous contest. I'm so glad you like them. Yeah, so these batiks are kind of fun. That just kind of a floral there, some hearts, and this kind of leafy textured background. So it doesn't scream Christmas, but yes, we're having Christmas in July coming up. So I will leave you to your afternoon activities, and remember to check off the 4 states from the Four Corners region in the United States if you are playing along with our summer fun contest. And I will see you back here next week for another live Tuesday quilt chat. Have a good time. See you later.